Today is February 13th, 2026, and this is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
And I gave you a Christmas present this past Christmas, which I think you like.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so what are we doing tonight?
So we are going to go see and hear the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, and they're playing in Wheaton, so we don't have to go all the way down to Chicago. And what are they playing? You know, you were thinking about looking up. You don't quite remember yet.
Mozart. I need to look it up. I haven't looked it up for a while.
Okay, so we got a date, Christmas date that I paid dearly for, but we're going to enjoy that a lot.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and I like going to the symphony because Yvonne likes going to the symphony, and I'd rather go to a ball game, but you'd much rather go to the symphony, and so we're going to symphony tonight. Okay, 2 Chronicles, we're going to read chapters 3, 4, and 5. And again, we need to repeat this, right? 2 Chronicles, as 1 Chronicles, was written after the exile, the people coming back into the land, to give them a vision for the temple and the throne of just kind of what Israel could be. And here we're just reliving the golden age of the Hebrew people with Solomon.
Yeah, this is the golden age right here.
Okay, so in chapter 2, he made the deal with Hiram for the wood, the cedars from Lebanon, which are related sort of to redwood trees, but they're not. They're cedars instead. Okay, then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord in Jerusalem on Mount Moriah, where the Lord had appeared to David his father at the place that David had appointed on the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. He began to build in the 2nd month of the 4th year of his reign. These are Solomon's measurements for building the house of God. The length in cubits of the old standard was 60 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. The vestibule in front of the nave of the house was 20 cubits long, equal to the width of the house, and its height was 120 cubits. He overlaid it on the inside with pure gold. The nave he lined with cypress and covered it with fine gold and made palms and chains on it. He adorned the house with settings of precious stones. The gold was the gold of Parvaim. So he lined the house with gold, its beams, its thresholds, its walls, its doors, and he carved cherubim on the walls.
And he made the most holy place. Its length, corresponding to the breadth of the house, was 20 cubits, and its breadth was 20 cubits. He overlaid it with 600 talents of fine gold. The weight of gold for the nails was 50 shekels, and he overlaid the upper chambers with gold.
In the most holy place, he made 2 cherubim of wood and overlaid them with gold. The wings of the cherubim together extended 20 cubits. One wing of the one of 5 cubits touched the wall of the house, and its other wing of 5 cubits touched the wing of the other cherub. And of this cherub, one wing of 5 cubits touched the wall of the house, and the other wing, also of 5 cubits, was joined to the wing of the first cherub. The wings of these cherubim extended 20 cubits. The cherubim stood on their feet facing the nave, and he made the veil of blue and purple and crimson fabrics and fine linen, and he worked cherubim on it.
In front of the house he made 2 pillars, 35 cubits high, with a capital of 5 cubits on the top of each. He made chains like a necklace and put them on the tops of the pillars, and he made 100 pomegranates and put them on the chains. He set up the pillars in front of the temple, one on the south, one on the north. That on the south he called Jachin, and that on the north, Boaz.
Yeah. So each of these pillars I know some people name their cars. And these...
Sure, and boats.
Yeah. And these were pillars that were named. So basically, chapter 3, Solomon builds the structure of the temple, is what was happening there. Okay, chapter 4, and like the ESV heading says, the temple furnishings, that's what we're going to see. We're just going to see the altar being made, some lampstands being made, and some vessels being made. The furnishing's good, or you can put altar, lampstands, and vessels, whatever you want. And he made an altar of bronze, 20 cubits long and 20 cubits wide and 10 cubits high. He made the sea of cast metal. It was round, 10 cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high, and a line of 30 cubits measured its circumference. Under it were figures of gourds, for 10 cubits, compassing the sea all around. The gourds were in 2 rows, cast with it when it was cast. It stood on 12 oxen, 3 facing north, 3 facing west, 3 facing south, and 3 facing east. The sea was set on them, and all their rear parts were inward. Its thickness was a handbreadth, and its brim was made of a brim like that of a cup, like the flower of a lily. It held 3,000 baths. That's like this big this big sea.
Huge.
Yep, this big bowl. And he also made 10 basins in which to wash, and set 5 on the south side and 5 on the north side. And in these they were to rinse off what was used for the burnt offering, and the sea was for the priests to wash in.
And he made 10 golden lampstands as prescribed, and set them in the temple, 5 on the south side and 5 on the north. He also made 10 tables and placed them in the temple, 5 on the south side and 5 on the north. And he made 100 basins of gold. He made the court of the priests and the great court and doors for the court, and overlaid their doors with bronze. And he set the sea at the southeast corner of the house.
Hiram also made the pots, the shovels, and the basins. So Hiram finished the work that he did for King Solomon on the house of God: the 2 pillars, the bowls, and the 2 capitals on the top of the pillars, and the 2 lattice works to cover the 2 bowls of the capitals that were on the top of the pillars, and the 400 pomegranates for the 2 lattice works, 2 rows of pomegranates for each lattice work to cover the 2 bowls of the capitals that were on the pillars. He made the stands also, and the basins on the stands, and the 1 sea, and the 12 oxen underneath it, the pots, the shovels, the forks, and all the equipment for these. Hiram-Abi made of furnished bronze for King Solomon for the house of the Lord. In the plain of the Jordan the king cast them in the clay ground between Sukkot and Zeradah. Solomon made all these things in great quantities, for the weight of bronze was not sought.
So Solomon made all the vessels that were in the house of God: the golden altar, the tables for the bread of the presence, the lampstands and their lamps of pure gold to burn before the inner sanctuary as prescribed, the flowers, the lamps, and the tongs of purest gold, the snuffers, basins, dishes for incense, and fire pans of pure gold, and the sockets of the temple, for the inner doors of the most holy place, and for the doors of the nave of the temple were gold.
Okay, so I think the ESV is just as good as anything, right? The temple furnishing. So in chapter 3, he builds the structure. In chapter 4, just all the furniture that's going to go in the tabernacle the temple is built there. Okay, so now we come to chapter 5, where we're going to see the ark coming in and the glory of the Lord filling the temple. First, a summary statement. Thus, all the work that Solomon did for the house of the Lord was finished. And Solomon brought in the things that David his father had dedicated, and stored the silver, the gold, and all the vessels in the treasuries of the house of God.
Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes and the leaders of the fathers' houses of the people of Israel in Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is Zion. And all the men of Israel assembled before the king at the feast that is in the 7th month. And all the elders of Israel came, and the Levites took up the ark. And they brought up the ark, the tent of meeting, and all the holy vessels that were in the tent. The Levitical priests brought them up. And King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel who had assembled before him were before the ark, sacrificing so many sheep and oxen that they could not be counted or numbered. That's a lot of animals.
Yeah, a lot of animals, yeah.
Then the priests brought the ark of the covenant of the Lord to its place in the inner sanctuary of the house, in the most holy place, underneath the wings of the cherubim. The cherubim spread out their wings over the place of the ark, so that the cherubim made a covering above the ark and its poles. And the poles were so long that the ends of the poles were seen from the holy place before the inner sanctuary, but they could not be seen from outside, and they are there to this day. There was nothing in the ark except the 2 tablets that Moses put there at Horeb, where the Lord made a covenant with the people of Israel when they came out of Egypt. Now, at this point, those are about 500 years old.
1400 BC.
400 years of Judges.
Yeah.
And then about 100 years of David and Solomon. David and Saul.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, here comes a long sentence. Verse 11 through 14, I think, is one sentence. And when the priests came out of the holy place, for all the priests who were present had consecrated themselves without regard to their divisions, and all the Levitical singers, Asaph, Heman, and Jeduthun, and their sons and kinsmen, arrayed in fine linen, with cymbals, harps, and lyres, stood east of the altar with 120 priests who were trumpeters. And it was the duty of the trumpeters and singers to make themselves heard in unison in praise and thanksgiving to the Lord. And when the song was raised with trumpets and cymbals and other musical instruments in praise to the Lord, For he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. The house of the Lord, was filled with a cloud, so that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord filled the house.
Yep, there it is. The glory of the Lord filled the house. And we're going to see this phrase, the steadfast love, endures forever. This is sort of like the common hymn that is sung by the people of Israel. It's just it's a glorious time. We're going to see tomorrow, or actually on Monday, we're going to see when Solomon just prays just over this place. Just it's a great crowning moment, the golden point, the golden times of Israel's history. Right here.
Well, I think it's really amazing that the cloud filled the temple, because I think that nods back to the tabernacle.
It does.
After it was built and God's presence was there and a cloud filled the temple.
Yep.
I think it's kind of similar also in 1 Chronicles 21 when David built the altar on the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite, and fire came down from heaven. Yeah. And that's the same location where this temple was being built.
Yep.
So just God's presence there.
Okay, we will see you tomorrow in the Psalms. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.